We're talking about scams in 2025. They're getting sneakier, they're getting bolder, and they're coming for your hard-earned cash, your identity, basically everything. And let's be real, nobody wants to be caught slipping in this digital age. This video, we're going to dive deep into the world of scams and arm you with the knowledge you need to protect yourself. We're talking about recognizing those red flags, dodging those phishing attempts, and keeping your personal information locked down tighter than my dance moves after a double espresso. Now, I know what you're thinking. Lily, this all sounds scarier than my browser history after a late-night online shopping spree. But trust me, it's better to be safe than sorry. We're going to break down each tip into bite-sized pieces so you can follow along. So grab your detective hats, put on your skeptical glasses, and let's get this anti-scam party started. All right, folks, first things first. Staying ahead of scammers is like trying to keep up with the Kardashians. You blink, and they've already reinvented themselves with a new business venture or a dramatic plot twist. Scammers are constantly coming up with new and creative ways to trick people. So what worked last year might not work this year. Think of it like your phone's operating system. Remember when you thought that first iPhone was the peak of technology? And now look at us, rocking foldable screens and talking to our virtual assistants like they're actual humans. Don't judge, I'm lonely. Similarly, the world of scams is constantly evolving. New technology, new trends, new anxieties. Scammers prey on it all. Remember that weird cryptocurrency craze a while back? Yeah, you better believe scammers were all over that like influencers on a free trip to Bali. So how do you keep up? Well, there are a few key things you can do. Alright, so you're probably wondering, Lily, where do I find these magical scam-busting websites? Well, fear not, my internet-savvy friend, because I've got you covered. There are tons of reputable organizations out there dedicated to exposing scams and keeping you informed. The Federal Trade Commission, FTC for example, has a website with a whole section dedicated to consumer alerts and scam updates. It's like the FBI of consumer protection, except instead of chasing down criminals in sleek suits, they're taking down scammers in their pajamas. Then you've got the Better Business Bureau, BBB. These guys are like the Yelp of businesses. But instead of rating restaurants on their ambiance and food, they're rating businesses on their trustworthiness and reliability. They've got scam trackers, business reviews, and a whole bunch of resources to help you navigate the online world safely. And don't forget about your local news outlets and consumer protection agencies. They often report on scams that are happening in your area, which is super helpful because, let's be real, sometimes scams feel a lot more personal when they're happening in your own backyard. Now, I know what you're thinking. Lily, this is a lot of information to keep track of. But trust me, spending a few minutes each week browsing these websites or reading those newsletters can save you a whole lot of headache and money in the long run. Think of it like this. You wouldn't go on a road trip without first checking the traffic and weather conditions, right? The same goes for navigating the digital world. Staying informed about the latest scams is like checking the traffic report for your online activity. It helps you avoid those digital potholes and detours that can lead to disaster. Plus, the more you learn about scam tactics, the better equipped you'll be to spot them in the wild. It's like learning a new language. The more you immerse yourself in it, the easier it becomes to understand and even predict what's coming next. So, make it a habit to stay updated on the latest scam trends. Consider it your civic duty to protect yourself and your loved ones from the dark side of the internet. Because in the words of the great Maya Angelou, when you know better, you do better. And trust me, when it comes to scams, doing better means keeping your money where it belongs, in your pocket. Okay, friends, let's talk about phishing, which is basically the internet equivalent of that shady friend who tries to get you to invest in their foolproof business idea that involves selling overpriced leggings or essential oils. Phishing is all about deception. Scammers try to trick you into giving up personal information like your passwords, credit card numbers, or social security number by pretending to be someone or something they're not. They might send you emails that look like they're from your bank, your favorite online store, or even your grandma. Yes, really. These emails are designed to look official and often create a sense of urgency to pressure you into acting quickly without thinking twice. They'll say things like, your account has been compromised, or you won a free cruise. Click here to claim your prize. But hold up, don't click that link just yet. Before you hand over your precious information, remember what your mama taught you? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Because let's be real, when was the last time a Nigerian prince actually emailed you offering a fortune? Spoiler alert, never. Phishing attempts can be pretty convincing, but there are always telltale signs that can help you spot them like a boss. So put on your detective hats and let's break down some of the most common red flags to watch out for. First up, let's talk about email addresses. Legitimate companies and organizations will always use professional email addresses that include their domain name. So if you get an email from Amazon but the sender's address is ilovekittens@randomdomain.com, then honey, you know something's fishy. Next, pay attention to the greeting. Phishing emails often use generic greetings like "Dear valued customer" or "Dear account holder" because they don't actually know your name. Gasp! Reputable companies, on the other hand, will usually address you by your name. And speaking of tone, be wary of emails that create a sense of urgency or pressure you into taking immediate action. Scammers know that when we're stressed or rushed, we're more likely to make mistakes. So, if an email is demanding that you update your password immediately or risk losing access to your account, take a deep breath and don't panic. Legitimate companies will never pressure you into giving up your personal information via email. Finally, always hover over any links before you click on them. This will show you the actual URL where the link will take you. If the URL looks suspicious or doesn't match the company's official website, then steer clear, my friend. Remember, friends, phishing is all about tricking you into letting your guard down. So the best way to protect yourself is to stay vigilant and be skeptical of any unsolicited emails or messages that ask for your personal information. If you're ever unsure about an email, don't hesitate to contact the company directly using their official contact information, which you can usually find on their website. It's always better to be safe than sorry. And for the love of all that is good in this world, never, ever, ever give out your personal information over email. That's like walking into a crowded room and shouting your credit card number from the rooftops. Not a good look. So there you have it, folks. Now you're armed with the knowledge to spot phishing attempts like a pro. Remember, knowledge is power, and when it comes to protecting yourself from scams, a little bit of knowledge can go a long way. Stay savvy, my friends. Okay, let's talk passwords, guys. We've all been there staring at that blinking cursor like it's judging our entire existence. And why? Because we need to create yet another unique password that's somehow a combination of uppercase, lowercase numbers, and hieroglyphics, apparently. It's like the internet wants us to be walking Fort Knoxes of personal data. But who can remember all that? I mean, I can barely remember where I put my phone half the time, let alone a password with the complexity of a Shakespearean sonnet. But here's the thing. Strong passwords are non-negotiable in this digital age. They're like the bodyguards of your online life, protecting your precious data from the bad guys. Think about it. Your online banking, your social media, your emails, basically your entire digital identity is guarded by these little strings of characters. One weak link and bam, you're vulnerable. So yeah, it's a pain, but trust me, it's a pain worth enduring. Think of it as a workout for your brain, except instead of getting ripped, you're getting digitally secure. So how do we win at this password game? First off, ditch the password 123 mentality. Seriously, that's like leaving your front door wide open with a sign that says, "Come on in, thieves." Instead, think outside the box. Use a combination of words, numbers, and symbols that are meaningful to you but difficult for others to guess. Pro tip, think of a random sentence and use the first letter of each word. For example, "I love eating pizza on Tuesdays" becomes Elapot, another game-changer password managers. I know, one more thing to download, but trust me, these things are lifesavers. They generate and store all your complex passwords securely so you don't have to remember them all. Think of it like having a personal assistant for your passwords, except this assistant doesn't judge your questionable online shopping habits. Now I know what some of you are thinking, but Lily, I use the same password for everything. It's just easier. Okay, first of all, how dare you? Just kidding, but seriously, don't do that. That's like using the same key for your house, your car, and your secret stash of cookies. One compromise and everything is up for grabs. Each account deserves its own unique and strong password. And while we're at it, let's talk about password updates. I know, another chore to add to the list. But just like you wouldn't wear the same outfit every day, unless you're Mark Zuckerberg, no judgment, you shouldn't keep the same password forever. Aim to update your passwords every few months. I know it seems extra, but it's like taking your digital security to the salon for a little refresh. Alright folks, let's talk about a security feature that's about to become your new BFF two-factor authentication. I know, it sounds intimidating like something out of a spy movie, but trust me, it's way less complicated than it sounds, and it's one of the most effective ways to protect your accounts from unauthorized access. Think of it as the ultimate security guard for your online life. So how does this magical security feature work? Basically, it adds an extra layer of verification on top of your password. Even if someone gets their hands on your password, they still need that second factor to get in. It's like having a security guard who not only checks your ID, but also makes you answer a secret question before they let you into the VIP section. Now, there are a couple of different ways two-factor authentication can work. The most common method is through a code sent to your phone or email. You know, those 6-digit codes that make you feel like you're about to defuse a bomb? Yeah, those. They may seem annoying, but they're actually your little digital saviors. Another popular method is using an authentication app, which generates codes even without an internet connection. Some platforms even offer the option to use a physical security key, like a little USB device that you plug into your computer. It's like having a tiny vault for your digital keys. The best part? Most online services offer two-factor authentication these days, and it's usually super easy to set up. Just look for it in your account settings and follow the instructions. I know. Adding an extra step to your login process might seem like a hassle, but trust me, it's a small price to pay for the peace of mind it brings. Think about it. Would you rather spend an extra 10 seconds entering a code or risk having your entire online identity compromised? Yeah, I thought so. Plus, once you get used to it, it becomes second nature. It's like putting on your seatbelt, a little thing you do automatically to stay safe. So do yourself a favor and turn on two-factor authentication wherever you can. Your future self will thank you for it. Okay, let's talk social media, that digital playground where we document our every move, from that gourmet avocado toast we had for breakfast to our existential thoughts at 3 a.m. I mean, I love a good Instagram filter as much as the next person, but we gotta talk about boundaries, people. Because in this age of oversharing, it's easy to forget that not everyone online has our best interests at heart. Think about it. Every time you post something online, you're essentially throwing a digital party and inviting everyone on the internet, including those you wouldn't want anywhere near your actual house. And just like you wouldn't leave your front door unlocked or share your deepest secrets with strangers, you shouldn't be careless with your personal information online. The good news is, most social media platforms have privacy settings that let you control who sees what. It's like having a digital bouncer who only lets in the people you've approved. Take some time to explore those settings and customize them to your comfort level. You can choose to share your posts with only your friends, or even create custom lists to share specific content with certain groups. And if you're ever unsure about a post, err on the side of caution. Ask yourself, would I be comfortable with my grandma seeing this? If the answer is no, then maybe it's best to keep it private. Remember, what you post online can have real-world consequences. So, think before you post, and don't be afraid to be a little more private. Another thing to be mindful of is location tagging. I know, it's tempting to show off that you're sipping margaritas on a beach somewhere, but constantly sharing your location can make you an easy target. It's like putting a giant sign on your back that says, "Hey, I'm not home, come rob me." Instead of tagging your location in real time, wait until you've left to post about it. And while we're at it, let's talk about those friend requests from people you barely know. Remember, not everyone online is who they claim to be. Take a moment to check out their profile, see if you have any mutual friends, and trust your gut instinct. If something feels off, don't hesitate to hit that ignore button. Because when it comes to online safety, it's always better to be safe than sorry. Okay, fam, let's talk about online shopping. We all love a good deal, right? But listen up, because the internet can be like a crowded flea market, full of hidden treasures and some seriously sketchy characters. You're scrolling through looking for that unicorn onesie you've always wanted, and bam, you find it at half the price. But hold your horses, my friend. Before you whip out your credit card and click buy now, let's make sure you're not about to be scammed harder than that time I tried to cut my own bangs. First things first, check the website address. Does it look legit? I'm talking about spelling, weird symbols, the whole shebang. And look for that little padlock icon next to the URL. That padlock is your BFF, showing you the site is secure. No padlock, no party. Next up, read the reviews. But, and this is important, be a savvy shopper. Look for detailed reviews that sound like they're from real people. If it's all just vague, one-sentence raves, something's fishy. And don't forget to do a quick Google search for reviews on other sites too. Knowledge is power, people. Now let's talk about payment. If a seller is demanding payment through some obscure method you've never heard of, run for the hills. Stick to secure payment gateways like PayPal or your credit card. They offer buyer protection, so if something goes south, you've got backup. And speaking of backup, always check the seller's return policy. It's like a safety net for your online purchases. Make sure you understand their terms and conditions before you hit that checkout button. You don't want to end up stuck with a unicorn onesie that's 3 sizes too small. Trust me, I've been there. And finally, keep an eye on your bank and credit card statements. Regularly checking your transactions is like doing a security sweep for your finances. It helps you spot any unauthorized purchases before they spiral out of control. Remember, when it comes to online shopping, a little bit of caution goes a long way. Look, I get it. Online shopping is convenient, it's fun, and sometimes it's the only way to get your hands on that limited edition glow-in-the-dark unicorn onesie. But don't let excitement cloud your judgment. By following these simple tips, you can shop online with confidence, knowing you're protecting yourself from those pesky scammers lurking in the digital shadows. Remember, you're a smart, savvy shopper, and you deserve to have a safe and enjoyable online shopping experience. So go forth, my fellow online shopaholics, and conquer the internet with your wit, your charm, and your healthy dose of skepticism. And remember, if a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. Stay safe, stay savvy, and happy shopping. All right, party people, let's talk about public Wi-Fi. You know, those magical hotspots that pop up like free coffee at a conference, irresistible and oh so tempting. But just like that free coffee might be lukewarm and bitter, public Wi-Fi comes with its own set of risks. We've all been there, right? You're at the airport, desperately need to check your emails, and boom, there it is, free airport Wi-Fi. You practically trip over yourself to connect. But hold up, my friend, because lurking on those unsecured networks could be hackers just waiting to steal your precious data. Think of public Wi-Fi like a crowded party. Anyone can show up, and you never know who might be eavesdropping on your conversations. Hackers can easily intercept your data on these open networks, gaining access to your passwords, credit card information, and even your embarrassing search history. And before you say, "But Lily, I'm just checking my email," listen up. Even seemingly harmless activities like online banking or shopping can put your information at risk on public Wi-Fi. But don't worry, my tech-savvy friends, because I'm not going to leave you hanging without a solution. Enter the VPN virtual private network, your very own invisibility cloak in the digital world. Think of a VPN like this. It's like putting all your internet traffic in a super secure encrypted tunnel. Hackers trying to snoop on your activity will only see a bunch of gibberish. It's like speaking in a secret language that only you and the intended recipient understand. Now I know what you're thinking. VPNs sound complicated, Lily. I can barely figure out how to change my phone's wallpaper. But trust me, setting up a VPN is easier than mastering the perfect winged eyeliner. There are tons of user-friendly VPN services available, both free and paid. And the best part? A VPN not only protects you on public Wi-Fi, but it also adds an extra layer of security to your home network. So, whether you're sipping lattes at your local coffee shop or binge-watching your favorite show at home, a VPN has got your back. Look, I get it. Public Wi-Fi is convenient, especially when you're on the go, but your online security is priceless. So next time you're tempted to connect to that free Wi-Fi, remember the risks involved and take the necessary precautions. A VPN is your best bet for staying safe on public Wi-Fi. It's like having your own personal bodyguard for your online activity. And let's be real, who wouldn't want a bodyguard for their data? So go ahead, enjoy that free Wi-Fi, but do it responsibly. Protect your data, protect your privacy, and stay safe out there in the wild west of the internet. And remember, a little bit of caution goes a long way in keeping those pesky hackers at bay. Hey there, future millionaires. Or should I say future scam victims? Okay, I'm being dramatic. But seriously, let's talk about investment scams. Because let's be real, who doesn't dream of getting rich quick? But here's the truth bomb. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Those guaranteed returns and once-in-a-lifetime opportunities are often just wolves in sheep's clothing, ready to fleece you of your hard-earned cash. Remember, investing is like building a house. It takes time, patience, and a solid foundation. There are no shortcuts to success, no matter what those Instagram gurus with rented Lamborghinis try to tell you. So how do you spot these sneaky investment scams? First things first, be wary of high-pressure sales tactics. If someone is pushing you to invest quickly before the opportunity disappears, that's a major red flag. Real investments don't vanish overnight. Now let's talk about research. Remember that time you spent hours scrolling through Yelp reviews before choosing a burrito place? Yeah, that's the energy you need to bring to researching investments. Don't just blindly trust someone because they have a fancy website or a convincing sales pitch. Dig deeper, my friends. Check if the company or individual is registered with your local securities regulator. Look for independent sources of information like reputable financial websites and publications. And don't be afraid to ask questions. If something doesn't make sense, keep asking until it does. Remember, knowledge is power, and in the world of investing, it can be the difference between building wealth and losing it all. And here's a pro tip. If you're ever unsure about an investment opportunity, talk to a licensed financial advisor. They're like the financial gurus you actually want to listen to. They can help you create a solid investment plan that aligns with your goals and risk tolerance. Look, I get it. Investing can be intimidating, especially when you're just starting out, but it's an essential part of building a secure financial future. By being informed, asking questions, and seeking professional advice when needed, you can avoid those pesky investment scams and make your money work for you. Remember, your financial well-being is worth protecting. Don't fall for those get-rich-quick schemes. Instead, focus on building a solid financial foundation through informed and responsible investing. So go forth, my savvy investors, and conquer the world of finance with your newfound knowledge and healthy skepticism. And remember, slow and steady wins the race. Happy investing! All right, you beautiful bunch, let's talk finances. Yeah, I know, not as exciting as cat videos, but trust me, this is important. We're talking about protecting your hard-earned cash, your avocado toast fund, your everything. First things first, check those bank statements regularly. I'm talking more than just a quick glance while you're waiting for your coffee to brew. Sit down, maybe light a fancy candle, and really look at those transactions. See anything unfamiliar? Any charges you don't recognize? Don't just shrug it off and say, oh, must be something I forgot. That's Scammer 101, hoping you're too busy living your best life to notice. Early detection is key, my friends. The sooner you spot something fishy, the quicker you can report it and hopefully get your money back. Remember, knowledge is power, and in this case, it's also protecting your precious dollars. Next up, let's talk credit reports. I know, sounds boring, right? But trust me, this little document is like your financial report card. It tells lenders how responsible you are with money. You can get a free credit report from each of the 3 major credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. I know, 3 different places. It's like they want to make it complicated. But seriously, check them at least once a year. Look for any accounts you don't recognize, any late payments that shouldn't be there, any suspicious activity. It could be a sign of identity theft, and you gotta nip that in the bud faster than you can say, unicorn frappuccino. Remember, your credit score affects everything from getting a loan to renting an apartment. Look, I get it. Dealing with finances can feel about as fun as a root canal, but being proactive is way better than dealing with the headache of fraud later on. Trust me, I've been there and it's not a cute look. Set up account alerts. Most banks and credit card companies offer this, and it's super easy. You'll get a notification for any suspicious activity, large purchases, or basically anything out of the ordinary. It's like having a personal finance bodyguard. And speaking of bodyguards, consider a credit monitoring service. They're like the Beyoncé of the financial world, always watching your back and alerting you to any potential threats. Plus, you get to feel fancy saying, "Oh, my credit monitoring service will take care of that." Remember, staying on top of your finances is like flossing. You might not like doing it, but your future self will thank you for it. Okay, so you think you might have been scammed? Deep breaths, everyone. It happens to the best of us. First things first, don't panic. Easier said than done, I know, but freaking out won't solve anything. Take a moment to gather your thoughts and remember, you're not alone. Millions of people fall victim to scams every year. It doesn't mean you're not smart. It just means scammers are getting sneakier, like that one friend who always tries to steal fries off your plate. Now, let's get down to business. The first step is to document everything, and I mean everything. Save those emails, those text messages, those voicemails. Write down every detail you can remember about the scam. Think of yourself as a detective working a case, because basically you are. The more evidence you gather, the better equipped you'll be to fight back and hopefully recover your losses. Now that you've channeled your inner Sherlock Holmes, it's time to report the scam. Contact your bank or credit card company immediately and let them know what happened. They've dealt with this before, trust me. Next, file a report with the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, at ftc.gov. They're like the Avengers of scam fighting, working tirelessly to protect consumers and take down those shady operators. Depending on the type of scam, you might also need to report it to other organizations like the Internet Crime Complaint Center, IC3, for online scams, or the National Do Not Call Registry if you've been bombarded with spam calls. Remember, reporting a scam isn't just about trying to get your money back. It's about stopping those scammers from preying on other people. You're basically a superhero now, fighting for justice, one report at a time. Okay, so you've been through the ringer, you've reported the scam, you've warned your friends and family, and you're probably feeling a mix of emotions, anger, frustration, maybe even a little bit of embarrassment. But here's the thing, what matters most is that you learn from the experience. Take some time to reflect on what happened. What red flags did you miss? Were you pressured into making a quick decision? Understanding how the scam worked can help you avoid similar situations in the future. Remember, knowledge is power. The more you know about common scams and how to protect yourself, the less likely you are to fall victim again. Think of it as leveling up your scam fighting skills. And hey, if you ever need a reminder of the basics, you know where to find me. This video will always be here, ready to guide you through the treacherous world of online scams. You got this! All right, my scam fighting ninjas, that's a wrap. We've covered a lot of ground today, from spotting phishing emails to monitoring your financial statements. Remember, staying safe online is an ongoing process. It's like doing your makeup. You gotta keep at it to look flawless. The most important takeaway? Stay informed and stay vigilant. Scammers are always coming up with new tricks, so make sure you're keeping up with the latest trends. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. Let's create an army of scam-savvy individuals ready to take on the world, one suspicious email at a time. We're going to break down the top scams, learn how to spot them, and most importantly, how to avoid becoming a victim. First up, we're tackling a classic scam that's been around since the dawn of the internet, phishing. And trust me, these scammers are getting sneakier by the minute. They're like those little chameleon lizards that blend into their surroundings. Imagine this. You get an email that looks totally legit, like it's from your bank or your favorite online store. It might even have their logo and everything. But hold up, my friend, don't click that link just yet. It could be a phishing scam designed to steal your info. That's why it's super important to be extra cautious when you're online. Always double-check the sender's email address, hover over links before you click them, and be wary of any messages that seem too good to be true. Okay, so how can you tell if an email is legit or if it's a phishing scam? First things first, check that sender's email address like your life depends on it. Does it look all jumbled up and weird? Or maybe it's just slightly off from the official address? That's a major red flag. Next up, grammar and spelling. I know, not everyone is a grammar guru like me. But seriously, scammers often make mistakes in their emails. So if you see a bunch of typos or weird phrasing, it could be a sign that something's fishy. Literally. Another thing to watch out for is a sense of urgency. Like if the email is pressuring you to click on a link or provide your information right away, that's a big no-no. Legitimate organizations will never rush you into giving up your personal details. Take your time, read everything carefully, and if something feels off, trust your gut. Now let's talk about fake websites. These are like the evil twins of legitimate websites, designed to trick you into entering your personal information. They might look almost identical to the real deal, but there are always telltale signs that give them away. First, check the website address, aka the URL. Does it look a little funky? Maybe it has a weird spelling or uses a different domain name than the official site? That's a big red flag. Next, pay attention to the website's security. Look for a little padlock icon in the address bar. That padlock means the website is using encryption to protect your information. If it's not there, steer clear. It's like walking into a sketchy store with no security cameras. Not a good idea. All right, folks, put down your phones for a sec. Okay, you can pick them back up now. But seriously, we gotta talk about mobile app scams because these things are getting out of control. Our phones are like extensions of ourselves. They hold our deepest, darkest secrets. Like that time I accidentally liked my ex's new girlfriend's post from 3 years ago. Yikes! But with all the apps out there, it's easy to accidentally download one that's not so friendly. We're talking about malicious apps designed to steal your information, track your every move, or even take control of your device. Think about it. You're scrolling through the App Store, looking for a fun new game or a handy tool to help you organize your life. You see an app with a catchy name and a bunch of positive reviews. This is it, you think, excitedly hitting the download button. Little do you know, you've just invited a digital thief into your pocket. So how can you tell if an app is legit or if it's a scam? First and foremost, pay attention to the app's permissions. Before you download an app, it'll ask for permission to access certain features on your phone, like your camera, contacts, or location. Now, some apps need these permissions to work properly, like a navigation app that needs to know your location. But if an app is asking for access to something that seems unnecessary, that's a major red flag. Like, why does a flashlight app need access to your microphone? That's just shady. Another thing to watch out for is fake reviews. Scammers know that people rely on reviews to make decisions, so they often create fake accounts to leave glowing reviews for their malicious apps. Don't be fooled. If an app has a ton of 5-star reviews but they all sound generic or overly positive, it's probably too good to be true. Now, before you go on an app downloading spree, here are a few more tips to stay safe. First, stick to official app stores like the Apple App Store or Google Play. These platforms have stricter security measures in place to weed out malicious apps. Second, do your research. Before you download an app, take a minute to read the app description, check out the developer's website, and see what other users are saying about it. And finally, if something feels off, trust your instincts. It's better to be safe than sorry. Remember, your phone is like a digital treasure chest full of valuable information. So be careful who you give the keys to. Okay, besties, buckle up. We're diving into the world of insurance fraud. And let me tell you, it's wilder than trying to parallel park a boat in a bathtub. First things first, insurance fraud is like that friend who borrows your clothes and accidentally spills coffee on them. Not cool, right? It's basically lying or exaggerating stuff to get money from insurance companies. And guess what? It's on the rise. Like, seriously, it's like everyone and their pet goldfish is trying to pull a fast one. But don't worry, detectives. We're about to expose their sneaky tactics. These fraudsters, they're like the ninjas of the financial world, always trying to slip one past you. They stage accidents, fake injuries, you name it. It's like a bad reality TV show, but instead of drama, it's just straight up illegal. And the worst part? Insurance fraud doesn't just hurt the big companies. It affects everyone. Higher premiums? Yep, that's right. More paperwork? You betcha. It's like a never-ending game of whack-a-mole, but instead of moles, it's fraudulent claims popping up everywhere. Okay, so insurance fraudsters are like that friend who always has a coupon that's conveniently expired. They've got a whole bag of tricks, and trust me, they're not afraid to use them. One of their classic moves is staging accidents. Picture this. You're driving down the street minding your own business, when bam, someone slams on their brakes and you rear-end them. Sounds pretty legit, right? Wrong! It could be a setup, like a scene straight out of a movie, except way less glamorous. Then there's the good old phantom injury scam. This is where someone claims they were hurt in an accident, even though they're perfectly fine. They'll milk that emotional support neck brace for all it's worth. And let's not forget about property damage scams. Think broken phones, flooded basements, the whole shebang. These fraudsters are like walking, talking disaster zones, always ready to turn a minor mishap into a major payday. All right, my savvy sleuths, now that we know the enemy, it's time to arm ourselves with the knowledge to protect ourselves. Because, let's be real, dealing with insurance is already a headache and we don't need any extra stress in our lives. First things first, always be aware of your surroundings. If something seems fishy, like an accident that feels staged, trust your gut. It's like that feeling you get when your ice cream tastes a little too much like freezer burn. Something's not right. Next up, document everything. Take pictures, videos, write down details. Think of it like building a case file for the FBI. But instead of catching criminals, you're catching fraudsters. And trust me, your insurance company will thank you for it. And last but not least, be wary of anyone who approaches you after an accident, especially if they pressure you to use a specific doctor or lawyer. Remember, you're the boss of your insurance claim. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Hold on to your digital wallets, folks, because we're about to enter the wild, wacky world of cryptocurrency. It's like the Wild West out here, full of promise and peril. But hey, that's what makes it so exciting, right? Cryptocurrency is all the rage these days. It's like everyone and their grandma is trying to get in on the action, hoping to strike it rich with Bitcoin or Ethereum. But with all that digital gold rushing around, you know who else is lurking in the shadows? You guessed it, scammers. These digital outlaws are always on the lookout for unsuspecting investors, ready to lasso them into their web of deceit. They promise you the moon and the stars, or in this case, astronomical returns on your investment. But beware, my friends, because those promises often turn out to be as empty as a cowboy's boot after a long day on the range. So before you go all in on the latest crypto craze, remember, not everything that glitters is gold. In fact, some of it might just be fool's gold, and we don't want you to end up with a pocket full of disappointment. Now, let's talk about the different disguises these crypto criminals like to wear. They're like chameleons, constantly changing their tactics to blend in with the digital landscape. One of their favorite tricks is the good old pump and dump scheme. Imagine this. They hype up a cryptocurrency like it's the next big thing, convincing everyone to buy. The price skyrockets, and just when they've made a killing, they sell all their shares, leaving everyone else holding the bag. Then there are the fake ICOs, or initial coin offerings. These are like crowdfunding campaigns for new cryptocurrencies. Sounds legit, right? But here's the catch. Scammers create fake ICOs with flashy websites and promises of huge returns, then they vanish into thin air with everyone's money. Poof! Gone like a ghost in the digital night. And let's not forget about those phishing scams. You know, those emails or messages that look all official, claiming to be from a cryptocurrency exchange or wallet provider. They try to trick you into giving up your login credentials or private keys. And once they have those, it's game over. They can drain your account faster than you can say Satoshi Nakamoto. All right, my crypto crusaders, it's time to learn how to protect our hard-earned digital assets from those pesky scammers. Remember, knowledge is power, and in the world of cryptocurrency, a little knowledge can go a long way. First and foremost, never, ever, ever share your private keys with anyone. Those keys are like the secret password to your digital vault. Keep them safe, keep them secure, and whatever you do, don't post them on social media. Next up, be wary of any investment opportunity that promises unrealistic returns. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Remember, there's no such thing as a free lunch, especially in the world of cryptocurrency. And last but not least, do your research. Before investing in any cryptocurrency, take the time to learn about the project, the team behind it, and their track record. Don't just jump on the bandwagon because everyone else is. All right, party people, let's talk about social media, the land of double taps, endless scrolling, and unfortunately, scammers galore. It's like a digital playground where everyone's trying to get your attention, but not everyone has good intentions. Think about it. We spend so much time on social media sharing our lives, our thoughts, our hopes, and dreams. And guess what? Scammers know that. They're like those kids in the playground who wait for you to drop your guard, then swoop in and steal your juice box. They create fake profiles, posing as friends, businesses, or even celebrities, all to gain your trust. They'll shower you with compliments, offer you amazing deals, or try to tug at your heartstrings with sob stories. But don't be fooled, my friends, because behind those charming facades lurk the cold, calculating minds of scammers. So before you hit that follow button or share your life story with a stranger, let's equip ourselves with the knowledge to spot these social media swindlers and keep our digital lives safe and sound. Now let's dive into the murky depths of common social media scams. These tactics are like those annoying pop-up ads that follow you around the internet. Persistent, pervasive, and just plain annoying. One of the most common scams is the phishing scam. You know, those messages that look like they're from a friend or a legitimate company, asking you to click on a link or download a file. But beware, my friends, because that link could lead you to a fake website designed to steal your personal information. Click with caution. Then there's the romance scam, which is about as romantic as a bouquet of wilted flowers. Scammers create fake profiles, often using stolen photos, and then shower their victims with attention and affection, all to gain their trust and eventually, their money. It's like a bad dating app experience, but with potentially disastrous consequences. And let's not forget about those giveaway scams where you're promised amazing prizes or free stuff in exchange for following, liking, or sharing a post. But here's the catch. Those prizes never materialize, and you're left with nothing but a spammy inbox and a whole lot of disappointment. All right, my social media savvy squad, now that we know the risks, let's talk about how to navigate the digital landscape safely and responsibly. Because let's be real, social media can be a wonderful tool for connecting with others, but only if we use it wisely. First things first, be wary of anyone who contacts you out of the blue, especially if they ask for personal information or money. Remember, legitimate companies and organizations will never ask for your passwords or financial details over social media. Next up, think twice before clicking on links or downloading files, even if they appear to be from someone you know. Scammers can easily hack into accounts and send malicious messages. If something seems off, verify it with the sender directly. And last but not least, adjust your privacy settings. Make sure you know who can see your posts, your photos, and your personal information. Remember, you're in control of your online presence. Don't be afraid to hit that block button if someone makes you feel uncomfortable or unsafe. Okay, picture this. You're scrolling online, right? And bam, you see it. The deal of a lifetime, like designer shoes for the price of socks. I mean, come on, we've all been there. It's tempting, right? It's like the universe is saying, treat yourself, boo. But hold up, pump the brakes. Before you empty your digital shopping cart, let's take a breath. Because sometimes those deals that seem too good to be true, well, they usually are. It's like that saying, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's probably a really cheap knockoff duck trying to scam you out of your hard-earned cash. So, how do you tell if an online store is the real deal or sketchier than your ex's dating profile? First things first, check that URL, hunt for those reviews, and don't be afraid to be a little extra with the questions. Remember, a little bit of caution can save you a whole lot of heartache and empty wallet ache later on. All right, internet detectives, let's talk fake websites. These sneaky sites can look pretty convincing at first glance, but don't be fooled. There are some telltale signs that scream, run away. First up, check that URL like your life depends on it. Is the domain name a little wonky? Maybe it's misspelled or uses a weird combination of numbers and letters? That's a red flag. And speaking of red flags, keep an eye out for suspicious pop-ups or weird redirects. If a website feels sketchy, it probably is. Trust your gut, people. Another dead giveaway? A lack of contact information. Legitimate businesses want you to be able to reach them. If you're struggling to find an email address, phone number, or physical address, that's a major red flag. It's like trying to find a decent Wi-Fi signal in the middle of nowhere. Listen, I love online shopping as much as the next person. It's basically a superpower, buying anything you want with a single click. But like all superpowers, it comes with great responsibility. We gotta protect ourselves out here. First and foremost, always use secure websites for online transactions. Look for HTTPS in the URL and a little padlock icon. It's like a digital bodyguard for your personal information. And speaking of bodyguards, strong passwords are your best friends. Don't use the same password for every site. Mix it up with upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and even those funky characters. I know, it's a lot to remember. Also, be careful what you share online. Scammers love to use personal information to trick you, so be mindful of what you're posting on social media. Stay safe out there, my fellow online shopaholics. Okay, imagine this. You're just chilling, maybe binge-watching your favorite show, when suddenly the phone rings. You pick up, and a voice on the other end says, "Hello, this is tech support. We've detected a problem with your computer." Sounds familiar, right? That's because tech support scams are more common than you think. These scammers prey on people's fear of technology, using scare tactics to gain access to your computer and steal your personal information. They might tell you there's a virus or that your computer is sending out spam emails. Don't fall for it. Remember, legitimate tech support companies will never call you out of the blue. They won't ask for your personal information over the phone. If you receive a suspicious call, hang up immediately. And whatever you do, don't give them access to your computer. It's like giving a stranger the keys to your house. You don't know what they'll do once they're inside. So, how can you tell if a tech support call is legit or just another scam trying to steal your digital lunch money? Well, there are a few red flags to watch out for. First of all, pay attention to the caller ID. Scammers often use spoofing techniques to make it look like they're calling from a legitimate company. But if you see a random number or something that just doesn't look right, trust your gut. Another red flag is a sense of urgency. Scammers will often try to pressure you into acting quickly, saying things like, "Your computer is about to crash," or "We need to fix this problem immediately." Don't let them rush you. Take your time, and if something feels off, hang up the phone. Remember, legitimate tech support companies will never pressure you into making a decision on the spot. They'll give you time to think things over and consult with someone you trust. And speaking of trust, never give out your passwords, credit card information, or any other sensitive data over the phone. That's like giving a raccoon your credit card and expecting it to buy you dinner. It's just not going to end well. So, you've dodged a few scam calls. You're basically a tech support ninja now, but don't let your guard down just yet. there are still a few things you can do to protect yourself from these digital tricksters. First and foremost, make sure your computer is protected with strong antivirus software. It's like having a digital bouncer at the door of your computer, keeping those nasty viruses and malware out. Next, be wary of clicking on links or downloading attachments from unknown senders. You know how your mama always told you not to talk to strangers? Well, the same goes for the internet. Don't open emails from people you don't know, and be careful about clicking on links, even if they look legit. And finally, if you do fall victim to a tech support scam, don't panic. Report the scam to the authorities immediately. You can file a complaint with the Federal Trade Commission and contact your bank or credit card company to report any fraudulent charges. Remember, you're not alone. Millions of people fall victim to scams every year. By staying informed and being cautious, you can protect yourself and your hard-earned money from these digital predators. Okay, let's talk about money, honey. We all want it, we all need it, and sometimes we dream of making it magically appear in our bank accounts overnight. But here's a reality check. There's no such thing as easy money. Investment scams prey on our desire for quick riches, promising sky-high returns with little to no risk. Sounds too good to be true? That's because it is. These scams can take many forms, from Ponzi schemes to pump-and-dump schemes to fake cryptocurrency offerings. But they all have one thing in common. They're designed to separate you from your hard-earned cash. Remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Don't let the promise of easy money cloud your judgment. Before you invest in anything, do your research, ask questions, and never invest money you can't afford to lose. Remember, investing is like online dating. You gotta swipe left on the red flags and be cautious before you commit. Investment scammers are like those annoying telemarketers who call you during dinner, persistent, persuasive, and always trying to sell you something you don't need. They use a variety of tactics to lure unsuspecting investors, so it's important to be aware of their tricks. One common tactic is creating a sense of urgency. They might tell you that this is a limited-time offer, or that you need to act now to get in on the ground floor of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Don't let them pressure you. Take your time, do your research, and never make a decision based on fear or pressure. Another red flag is the promise of guaranteed returns. Remember, all investments carry some level of risk. If someone is guaranteeing you a specific return, that's a major warning sign. And finally, be wary of complex investment strategies that you don't understand. If you can't explain it simply, it's probably not a good investment. So how can you protect yourself from these investment predators lurking in the digital jungle? First and foremost, educate yourself. Learn about different types of investments, research investment professionals thoroughly, and never invest in something you don't fully understand. Remember, knowledge is power. The more you know about investing, the less likely you are to fall victim to a scam. Another important step is to be cautious of unsolicited investment offers. If you receive an email, phone call, or social media message out of the blue promising you incredible returns, it's best to ignore it. Remember, legitimate investment opportunities are rarely advertised this way. And finally, don't be afraid to ask for help. If you're unsure about an investment, talk to a trusted financial advisor, a family member, or a friend who has experience in investing. Two heads are always better than one, especially when it comes to protecting your hard-earned money. Okay, fam, let's talk about charity scams. You know, those that tug at your heartstrings like that one time you accidentally stepped on a snail? Yeah, those. It's rough out there, and scammers know it. They prey on your empathy, especially after a natural disaster or a global crisis. These shady peeps create fake websites or social media accounts that look super convincing. I'm talking waterworks-level realistic. They might even use a name similar to a real charity to really throw you off. Don't fall for it. It's like that time I thought I could pull off bangs. Spoiler alert, I couldn't. So, how do you spot these sneaky scammers? First things first, always double-check the charity's name and website. A simple Google search can save you a whole lot of heartache and money. Look for reviews and see what others are saying. Legit charities are usually registered, so check for registration numbers. They're like the VIP passes of the charity world. And remember, real charities are transparent about how they use your donations. They want you to know your hard-earned cash is going to a good cause, not funding someone's lavish latte habit. Alright, so you found a charity you love and you're ready to donate. Yay! But hold your horses, there are still some things to keep in mind. Always donate directly through the charity's official website. Don't click on suspicious links in emails or social media posts. And when you're entering your payment information, make sure the website is secure. Look for the https:// in the address bar and a little padlock icon. It's like the bouncer at the club. It's there to keep the bad guys out. Alright, job hunting can be tough. It's like trying to find a decent Wi-Fi signal at a music festival. Frustrating and nearly impossible. And just when you're about to give up hope, bam! You get an email for your dream job. The catch? It's probably too good to be true. Job offer scams are like that friend who promises to bring snacks but then shows up empty-handed. They lure you in with promises of high salaries, flexible hours, and little to no experience required. But before you start planning your acceptance speech, let's pump the brakes and look for the red flags. First of all, legitimate employers won't ask for personal information like your social security number or bank details right off the bat. That's like asking someone for their Netflix password on the first date, a big no-no. Also, be wary of vague job descriptions or companies you've never heard of. Do your research. Check out their website, LinkedIn profile, the whole shebang. If something feels off, trust your gut. It's like that time I ate gas station sushi. My gut knew better. So how can you avoid falling victim to these job-hunting horrors? Well, for starters, always apply for jobs through reputable websites or company career pages. It's like ordering takeout from a real restaurant instead of that sketchy food truck down the street. And never, ever pay for the promise of a job. That's like paying someone to be your friend. Desperate times call for desperate measures, but not that desperate. Remember, job hunting is a marathon, not a sprint. Pace yourself, stay informed, and you'll cross that finish line with a job offer you can be proud of. First up, we've got Experian. This company is like the ultimate guardian for your personal information. Picture them as your super vigilant, always on alert bodyguard for your identity. Just like a bodyguard who never sleeps, Experian is constantly on the lookout for any threats to your personal information. They've got this awesome feature called credit monitoring, which is like having a watchful hawk keeping an eye on your credit score. Imagine a hawk soaring high above, its sharp eyes catching every little movement. That's how Experian watches over your credit score, ensuring that any unusual activity is immediately noticed. Any suspicious dips or changes, bam! Experian will swoop in and alert you faster than you can say, "Wait, I didn't buy a yacht." Whether it's a sudden drop in your score or an unexpected new account, you'll be the first to know. They also do this super cool thing called dark web surveillance. Now, the dark web might sound like something out of a spy movie, but it's a real place where stolen information is often traded. It's like they've got these little digital spies infiltrating the deepest, darkest corners of the internet, making sure your info isn't being traded by some shady characters. These digital spies are constantly on the prowl, ensuring that your personal data stays out of the wrong hands. And if, by some unfortunate twist of fate, your identity does get compromised, don't worry. Experian is ready to jump into action. Experian's got you covered with their identity theft insurance. This isn't just any insurance. It's a comprehensive plan that helps you recover from the nightmare of identity theft. They'll help you clean up the mess, restore your good name, and get you back to feeling secure. From dealing with fraudulent charges to helping you navigate the complex process of restoring your identity, Experian is there every step of the way. It's like having a personal assistant for your identity, but way less demanding. This assistant doesn't need coffee breaks or days off. It's always there, working tirelessly to keep your personal information safe and sound. So whether you're checking your credit score, monitoring for suspicious activity, or ensuring your information isn't being sold on the dark web, Experian has your back. It's peace of mind in a digital world, knowing that your identity is being guarded by one of the best in the business. With Experian, you can relax and enjoy life, knowing that your identity is in safe hands. It's like having a security team, a detective, and a personal assistant all rolled into one, working around the clock to protect you. Next up is LifeLock, and let me tell you, they're like that super organized friend who always has your back. You know, the one who remembers your birthday, reminds you of important dates, and even helps you plan your vacations. LifeLock is that friend, but for your identity. They keep a vigilant eye on your personal information, ensuring that no suspicious activity goes unnoticed. They offer credit monitoring too, because two sets of eyes are always better than one, right? Imagine having a dedicated team constantly checking your credit reports, alerting you to any changes or potential threats. But wait, there's more. LifeLock doesn't just stop at monitoring. LifeLock also provides identity restoration support, which means if the worst happens and your identity is stolen, they'll be there to hold your hand through the entire recovery process. Picture this. You discover that your identity has been compromised. Panic sets in, but then you remember LifeLock. You make a call, and their experts spring into action. They'll make all those phone calls, file all the paperwork, and basically deal with all the headache-inducing stuff so you don't have to. It's like having a personal assistant dedicated to resolving your identity theft issues. They handle the nitty-gritty details, allowing you to focus on your life without the added stress. Talk about a stress reliever. Imagine the peace of mind knowing that someone is taking care of everything for you. No more sleepless nights worrying about the aftermath of identity theft. LifeLock's got you covered. And if that wasn't enough, LifeLock has teamed up with Norton, the cybersecurity gurus, to add an extra layer of protection to your devices. Norton brings their expertise in digital security, creating a formidable defense against cyber threats. Together, they form an unbeatable team. It's like having a digital fortress around your computer and phone, keeping those pesky hackers at bay. Imagine a virtual moat, complete with drawbridges and high walls, protecting your sensitive information from cyber invaders. With LifeLock, you can rest assured that your identity is in good hands. They provide a comprehensive solution, combining vigilant monitoring, expert restoration support, and top-notch cybersecurity. So go ahead, live your life with confidence, knowing that LifeLock is your identity's guardian angel. Chapter 3. Identity Force, the Identity Detective. Last but not least, we've got Identity Force, the Sherlock Holmes of identity theft protection. Imagine having a modern-day detective equipped with the latest technology, always on the lookout for any signs of trouble. Identity Force combines the timeless vigilance of Sherlock Holmes with cutting-edge cybersecurity measures to keep your personal information safe. These guys are all about staying one step ahead of the bad guys. In a world where cyber threats are constantly evolving, Identity Force uses advanced algorithms and real-time monitoring to detect and prevent identity theft before it can cause any damage. Their team of experts is always on high alert, ensuring that your information remains secure. They offer real-time alerts, which means you'll know about any suspicious activity the second it happens. Whether it's a strange login attempt, an unusual purchase, or any other red flag, Identity Force will notify you immediately. This proactive approach allows you to take swift action and prevent potential fraud. It's like having a personal security guard who whispers in your ear, "Hey, someone just tried to open a credit card in your name." This level of vigilance ensures that you are always in the loop and can respond quickly to any threats. Identity Force's real-time alerts are designed to give you peace of mind and keep you one step ahead of identity thieves. Want me to take care of it? Identity Force doesn't just alert you to potential threats, they also offer comprehensive support to help you deal with any issues that arise. Their customer service team is available around the clock to assist you with any concerns or questions you may have. Whether you need help understanding an alert or require assistance with a more complex issue, Identity Force is there to support you every step of the way. And speaking of taking care of it, Identity Force has a team of recovery experts who are available 24/7 to help you resolve any identity theft issues. These professionals are trained to handle even the most challenging cases, working tirelessly to restore your identity and ensure that you are protected from future threats. Their dedication and expertise make them an invaluable resource in the fight against identity theft. They're like the superheroes of the identity theft world, swooping in to save the day when you need them most. With their extensive knowledge and unwavering commitment, Identity Force's team of experts acts as your personal guardians, ready to tackle any challenge that comes your way. Their heroic efforts ensure that your identity remains secure, allowing you to focus on what matters most. With Identity Force, you can sleep soundly at night knowing that your identity is being protected by the best in the business. Their comprehensive approach to identity theft protection covers all the bases, from real-time alerts to expert recovery services. By choosing Identity Force, you are investing in a service that prioritizes your security and peace of mind, allowing you to live your life without the constant worry of identity theft. So there you have it, folks. My top 3 picks for identity theft protection services. Remember, protecting your identity is crucial in this digital age, so don't wait until it's too late. Check out one of these awesome services and give yourself the peace of mind you deserve. And as always, stay safe out there.